Yeah, I got Cassidy 2-1.
Yo, this too skinny blunt is crazy.
I got Cassidy. I heard Cassidy. Heard his shit. He ready. He ready.
Yo.
They say, why you do that to that nigga, man?
Yo, subscribe to them, man. Black Compass, subscribe to these dudes, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
Who rolled that, brother? Who rolled that, my nigga? Was it any weed left?
Yo, man, what the fuck is going on, dog? This is clearly no debate, man. Dog, this is my recap for this crazy, insane ass card, dog, man. As y'all can see, man, I got papers balled up, man. I was fucking going through papers, ripping them up, throwing them up, man. Like, look. First of all, let me just say this, man. Shout out to everybody that's been following me. Like all the followers that I started getting on fucking YouTube, man. I hope those followers transfer to subscribers, man. Subscribe, like, comment, man. Trust me, I don't mind talking to anybody, man, because y'all just been showing me so much love, man. Big shout out to Tony Bro, Black Compass. Like I said, I was listening to the Black Compass live before I decided to go ahead and get my recap. Shout out to everybody, man. DM Detroit, man, my fellow Detroit brother, man. Shout out to you too, fam. Man, let's go ahead and get into my recap real quick. All right, man. So, of course, Shotgun Suge versus Chef Trez, they kick the fucking battles off. They go ahead, man. They get in the ring. They get busy. Suge goes first. Suge come out. He's swinging. He talking about, man, he go give Chef Trez the headshot, man. And before he can rebuttal, he go give him 3 of them things, man. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Suge was fucking cooking in the first round. Let me grab my Battle Truth papers. Like, you know, Battle Truth be coming with the papers, you know. He be coming with that proof. Shout out to him. Anyway, so Suge went on ahead. He did his thing, man. That was a crazy, crazy, crazy first round for Shotgun Suge. But in the end, he started to lose steam. Let's go ahead and go on to Chef Trez. Trez, he just came out swinging, man, and he had a crazy bar to me. That was probably one of the hottest lines of the night. It wasn't the hottest line, but it was one of the hottest lines to me of the night, and that was the Michael Jordan hit his pockets and push off of him, shoot like Michael Jordan versus Utah. Crazy line, man. Chef Trez had the crowd in the palm of his hand, and he kept that momentum going. He didn't lose steam at the end of the first like Suge. So I give the had to pop that elbow. Anyway, had to I went on here that gave that first round to Chef Trez. Shotgun Suge comes back in the second round, man. He was pretty decent. He had a lot of good stuff. Of course, he won that Tay Rock or whatever. You know, Shotgun Suge brought back the headshot. You know, one rock fall, then the walls cave. the walls go cave in. That was a crazy line or whatever. Shotgun Suge, you know, he kept that energy going. He kept the energy really going. Chef Trez come back out, man, and he was doing his thing or whatever. He had a couple of crazy lines, but the biggest standout to me is you're not a gangster. You're not a gangster, period. Even blood was in your mom's nature. So that was most definitely a crazy ass line, man. Again, forgive me for reading off the lines. I'm trying to remember most of them. Some I was able to remember, but the problem is I'm dead tired because I've been up since fucking 4 o'clock this morning and have not had no damn sleep. I was so fucking excited for this card. Plus, I ended up going to work and shit. Anyway, so that was basically the second round. Then we go ahead. We go to the third round. You know, Suge came with some more shit. You know, of course, you know how you go scream chef life when you a vegetable. That was a crazy line in the third or whatever. And again, I felt like Suge ended up losing steam or whatever. And Chef Trez, he basically in this battle, he proved that he belonged on the big stage. Chef Trez is not a small room battler anymore. He belongs on the big stage, and he ended up taking this battle from Shotgun Suge. Of course, you know he had a kid passed out in the third round. Chef Trez had a crazy fire rebuttal from the kid passing out that shook the room. Of course, he had the cutter make him sleep different. You know, the cuddle or make him sleep different or whatever. So that shit was that was a crazy line. And I ended up giving this battle to Chef Trez 2-1. I edged the second round to Shotgun Suge. I gave the first round to Chef Trez. I gave the third round to Chef Trez. And, you know, that was that battle. Next, we goes on to that Young Eel versus Briz Rothstein battle. First of all, I'm gonna say this, Briz, man, you get better and better every time you get in the ring. But the one thing that you always do is after you stack up your bodies and you take on a third body, that third body don't always look as good as them first two bodies. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you under a rock, go look at Briz Rothstein versus Loso and Briz Rothstein versus Mr. Wavy, because those was two clean bodies. They was nasty, but they was fucking clean. Briz Rothstein, to me personally, I ended up giving this battle to Briz Rothstein, but let me go ahead and break it down for you. Briz comes out in the first round or whatever. He had the crowd in the palm of his hands. He was getting busy like a motherfucker. Hold on, wait. Drop my phone and shit and drop some papers. Anyway, Briz, you know, he basically, he was getting busy or whatever. He had a crazy asteroid line or whatever that had the crowd in the palm of his hands, man. And Briz said so much that a lot of people was catching it and did catch it. It seemed like Briz had dry spots, but Briz really didn't have dry spots in the first round. And to me, it was Briz was strong enough, most definitely, to take this round, because Briz's energy was just too unmatched. Young Ill comes out and his energy was trying to match Briz's, but of course we all know Ill because Ill always been that kind of person with the voice projection, so on and so forth. And to me personally, I thought Ill did pretty well in the first round. But the bad thing about Ill was Ill started to lose steam towards the end of the round. Of course, you know, he had a Tech 9 line that didn't really go over too well or whatever. The crowd kind of booed him a little bit. But the one highlight, you know, he had he said the song about he had the line about having the circle lit up, and that'd be something just added to the story. That was a fucking crazy line from Young Ill, but I ended up giving the first round to Briz. Second round, Briz, he comes back. He had the crazy jagged edge line, you know, that had the crowd rocking. But the thing is that Briz was rapping his ass off so much that some of it started to turn into a little bit of filler. It was like he'd go in to punch Ill and then he would just rap. Then go in to punch Ill, then he'd just rap. Then go in to punch Ill, then he'd rap. And it was like back and forth with me in the second round. Young Ill comes back in the second round. And of course, he talks about, you know, the situation between him and Smack. And then he talked about what, you know, these fools did, not fools, but he was calling them fools, what they did or whatever. And he was like how he was a stand-up dude on his word, but these dudes get bad posture, which was a crazy round. And Young Ill, to me, I thought Young Ill had a little bit more to steal that round from Briz, and I ended up giving Young Ill the second round. The third round comes, and Briz Rothstein was right back on this shit, man. Briz Rothstein basically ended up just going at Verb. He went at Hitman. You know, Briz was saying something about Verb for a rematch. I'm gonna be honest with you, because the bullshit that Verb is on, and I'm talking about good bullshit, I don't think Briz won't them problems. But that's just my opinion. Briz might be able to give Verb some competition this time around. Then of course he took a shot at Hitman. Again, my opinion, I don't think Briz want them problems, because Briz, the nigga smoked your boss. So it's like, I don't think those are the problems you want. But again, this is just my opinion. This is any given Sunday. That football slang. Any given Sunday, a battler can show up. And Briz could rematch Verb and beat Verb. Briz could rematch Hitman and beat Hitman. But in my opinion right now, you don't leave those two men alone. Anyway, Briz go ahead. He does this thing in the third round. He ended up saying the crazy line about, you know, take the blade 2 inches, split them in half. Verb, you get a half. Holly, you get a half. Choose a side and all of that shit. That was just crazy. And then Young Ill, he comes back. He had a couple of nice lines, a lot of filler in his third round. The crowd he was losing the crowd. And the one time that he lost the crowd, he had a crazy big and faith line that the crowd didn't catch, and they kind of booed him. But then when he brought it back and he ended up spitting it again, the crowd fucked with it or whatever, because they ended up catching it. It was almost kind of similar to what happened with Hitman Holla at Summer Madness 2, where Hitman was doing the whole body scheme and the crowd booed him. But then the Hitman was like, hold on, let me get the bar off. and then he got the ball off, and the crowd was rocking with him. But in the end, I ended up giving this battle to Briz Rothstein 2-1, pretty clear. But I'm gonna say this about Young Ill: he belongs on the stage. All he has to do is get the rust off. He needs to get the rust off. Point blank. Period. Next, we go on to Rum Nitty versus T-Top. To me, my personal opinion, this was the battle of the night. Rum Nitty, he came out. Basically, he was Rum Nitty. He came into the ring. He was punching. The punches were sharp. The punches was hitting. The punches was landing. The punches was Rum Nitty. You know, so you was getting basically your bang for your buck. I mean, of course, the crazy line of, if the bear lift the paw, it'll be Paul Bear's lifting the bear. So like it that was just crazy or whatever. Had the crowd just going. T-Top comes out, man. T-Top, he was ready. He was game. And, he was doing this thing. And, of course, he said something about Rum Nitty being emotional and said, said you was emotional over twerk like you found out your wife was a stripper, which was a crazy line or whatever in the first. But I ended up edging the first round to Rum Nitty because T-Top, he had some hits and misses in the first round, but I think Rum had enough to steal the first round from T-Top via edge. Excuse me. The second round comes and Rum Nitty fucking leaves Earth. Rum Nitty goes the fuck off. And when I say he goes off, the shit was like, it wasn't even, to me, I'm going to say this. Rum Nitty had the best round of the night. That second round, Rum Nitty did not play no games with T-Top. He tried to get T-Top the fuck up out of there. And he did his damn thing. Like, he literally, he had the crazy honorable mention bar. Like, Rum Nitty, man, it was at one point, I ended up tweeting Tony, bro. I said, bro, are y'all keeping up with the bars? Because he's saying so much shit. I can't even write all of this shit down right now. Like, I can't take all of the notes. And at that point, I just scrapped everything and said, okay, from here on out, I'm just going to remember certain lines that these guys say throughout the night. And then I'm going to try to work with that or whatever when I do my recap. But that's how crazy Rum's second was. T-Top comes back in the second. He has a decent second, but it was not as strong as Rum Nitty's second. And T-Top had a couple of crazy lines, but it was nothing that did not really hit well as far as what Rum did in his second. So I ended up, to me personally, going into the battle, I had Rum Nitty up 2-0 going into the third. We get to the third. Like I said, y'all, I am tired as hell, man. Forgive me, brother. Forgive me. Forgive me. We go ahead, we get into the third, man, and Rum Nitty, he was doing this thing or whatever. He had a crazy Ilmac hollow line, but he had a very, very short third. It almost like he felt like it was enough for him to take the battle. And you could possibly debate the first round between these two. Again, I have personally had Rum Nitty win the first round, but you can't debate that second round. And if you do debate the first round, then you're going to give the third round to T-Top, because when T-Top went into the Walmart angle and he put on that little bitty ass Walmart vest with the hat and started telling the Walmart stories about Rum Nitty working at Walmart, that shit was fucking hilarious. But not only that it was hilarious, it was fucking landing. It was like nothing but straight power punches in that third round. And to me, the biggest haymaker was when T-Top was, playing self-checkout with the crowd. Like, he'd say something and, the crowd would say self-checkout, and then he'd say like such and such, such and such. Crowd say self-checkout, he'd say like such and such, such and such. And he said self-checkout, and the crowd said self-checkout, and he said like Tech 9 on his court date. That bar was fucking crazy. It was crazy. To me, that was by far the biggest room shaker of the night. T-Top won that third pretty clear. But again, it goes down to the first. If you got T-Top winning, I'm not mad. Personally, I just thought Rum did enough in the first to edge the battle. But dog, T-Top's third was fucking ridiculous. And that line was the line of the night. Then we go into John versus New Jersey Twerk. Of course, Twerk comes out. This battle had a little bit of controversy with it. Twerk comes out or whatever, and he's getting ready to spit. John said, no, flip the coin, which I didn't understand this because it was like either Twerk won the coin toss and still ended up going first, or John won the coin toss and picked Twerk to go first. But Twerk was about to go first anyway, and John was like, no, flip the coin. It was like, what was the point? Like, but John, Twerk ended up going first. Twerk ended up going first, and it was literally a crazy first round from Twerk. Twerk basically showed why he had been on hiatus and why he wasn't like going into goading with John when John was trying to get him on Twitter to go do a little back and forth. Twerk first round was fucking strong as hell. Of course, you know, he had the line about hollows through your glass, that's karma, whatever. That was a crazy line, and Twerk really had the crowd in the palm of his hands. He had the shoulder pass Jersey line. That was real crazy. I really liked that line. And again, this was like literally a strong first round from Twerk. John goes. John had a couple of nice lines. John did a lot of slick talking in the first round. Some lines that you could catch, some lines you couldn't catch. But at the end of the day, it was not enough to steal the first round from Twerk, and Twerk ended up winning that round. We go to the second. Twerk had a crazy 30-day trial line that hit pretty hard. And Twerk basically was like he was picking up where he left off in the first, but then he kind of like lost a little bit of steam towards the end, and that basically was that. And then of course John he go ahead and John literally fought out of the damn body bag, man. He fought out of the casket. He fought back, and John ended up still in the second round of New Jersey Twerk, in my opinion. A lot of people probably disagree with me, but I thought John stole that second round. We go into the third, which was interesting. Twerk, he was doing his thing or whatever. Wait, before we go into the third, John had a crazy line in the second round about like if she want to twerk, tell her don't stop, pop that pussy. Like that shit was I like that line. I ain't even go for it. Anyway, but we go ahead and we go into the third round. And by this time I got the battle 1-1. And we go into the third round, and Twerk was doing the thing. It was like he was picking up where he left off in the first round and in the beginning of his second round. And then, of course, Twerk ended up bringing in Jackboy. And then this is where the bullshit happens. Because the minute Jackboy got in, Jackboy was trying to rhyme. John stopped him and was like, nigga, you're not about to rhyme because I'm not going up against you. I'm battling him. He was like, I ain't letting you rap. And while he was trying to talk, they was talking, boom, a scuffle ended up ensuing. And then, you know, shit goes black for a minute. And we bring everything back. And they was trying to get Twerk to finish out the third. And Twerk was like, no, I'm about to leave. Fuck this battle and all of that shit. And Smacking them was like, no, like, let's go ahead and do this. John was like, shit, we might as well go ahead and wrap this up. So they was going back and forth a little bit. And then they was like, well, go ahead and finish your round, Twerk. Twerk basically jerseyed out and ended up handing the battle over to John because what ended up happening, and I can't remember who tweeted this, and we was watching the resolution card and we was all tweeting about it, but somebody made a perfectly good point. You hid behind Jackboy because maybe you didn't have a third, because everybody kept saying, well, okay, well, forget about the Jackboy part. Go ahead and spit the rest of your third, and he just didn't want to spit. So either Twerk had a third after what Jackboy was going to say, or Jackboy was the rest of his third. And John basically stole the win from him. I mean, y'all accused him of stealing bars and stealing styles. John literally stole a battle because John ended up spitting, and the crowd wasn't giving John a chance at first. But then when they got to letting him rock, they actually liked what he was saying. And John to me ended up still in the battle. So I gave the battle to John 2-1. All right, and so we go to K-Shine versus Tay-Rock, the rematch. Everybody was looking forward to this rematch. To me, this rematch did not let down. A lot of people were saying that it was lackluster, but I don't think it was lackluster. This was a dogfight. This was two power punchers who were known for their aggressive style going up against each other. These was two dudes in the prime of their careers. These ain't no young pups no more. This is not how they battled back in the day. This is not Sean coming up. This is not Rock coming up. These dudes are both bosses. They can sit at the table with the bosses now. And this was, to me, a dogfight. I mean, Tay-Rock had the crazy GameStop cases all over the place, lineman, that set everything off. He ended up setting off the first round. And Tay-Rock came out like he was ready to play. Tay-Rock came out literally like he was ready to play. Like I said, he had the GameStop line. He again, it was nothing that you couldn't ask from Rock that Rock did not give in that first round. Of course, second round comes out. K-Shine, he comes back and he was swinging. He was doing his thing, and K-Shine. To me, he did enough to steal the first round from Rock. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you get Tay-Rock winning the second, if you get, to me, it comes down to the second round. The second round is very debatable because both of their second rounds were very, 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 very fire. And the one thing, K-Shine had the Columbine that was really, really crazy. Then he had the pitcher powder Kool-Aid line that was even more crazy. Tay-Rock came out to play. Rock came out to play. Rock came out to fight. And he was not letting up his spot. Whatever you want to consider him as, he was not letting that spot up. And K-Shine, he came out with just as much energy in the second round, man. And you could argue either way who you think won that round. I mean, of course, you end up going to me, I felt that K-Shine did enough to edge that second round for Tay-Rock. And then we go into the third. The third was pretty strong on Rock's part, and K-Shine part. His was up and down, and I ended up giving the third to Tay-Rock. But if you give Tay-Rock that second round, I can't debate with you because that second round is debatable as fuck. It's debatable as fuck. And I personally think that it was a really, really good battle. I thought the battle to me lived up. I've seen a lot of people saying that the battle didn't live up. To me, I thought it lived up. But with that being said, like I said, I had K-Shine 2-1, man. And then we get into the main event. The main event was Cassidy versus Goods. So let me go ahead and say this. Cassidy comes out on stage, and he's still talking shit like he promoting the battle. He's still talking shit like he was promoting the battle. That shit was crazy. It was crazy. I'm thinking to myself, my nigga, y'all already got my money. It ain't nothing else that y'all can get from me. But I was still loving the shit. Cassidy was talking gas shit. And we go into the battle. Cassidy starts off first. And I'd probably say the first 2 minutes into the battle, Cassidy had some fire. Cassidy had some motherfucking flame. Cassidy sounded like he came to fucking play. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, yo, JC said this nigga was ready, and JC is not looking like a liar. And then the one big no happened. I don't know why everybody think that they could pull the Loaded Lux. But to me, Loaded Lux is the only person that has been successful enough, going back to the Calico battle, that was able to rap for so long, and that whole the whole length of his the whole length of his round was fire. And a lot of y'all have been trying to recapture or recreate that moment, and it's not working. Cassidy spit for probably about 7 minutes in the first, but he only had 2 minutes of fire. And the rest was just, it was like he reverted back to 2006, and he was saying a lot of 2006 bars. And of course, after that, he ended up hanging it up. He ended up doing like a Dumbo line to close out the round. It was weird. And then Goods ended up basically being Goods. Goods came in there and he tore shit up. But the one thing I'm about to point out there, everybody who said, what can Goods talk to about Cassidy? You can't talk to Cass about money. You can't talk to Cass about record deals. You can't talk to Cass about being on drugs. You can't talk to Cass about Gilly McGee. You can't talk to Cass about AR-Ab. You can't talk to Cass. All of that shit fucking hit. Everything that everybody said Goods could not talk about and it was not going to hit, all of that shit hit. So all of you motherfuckers was wrong. I'm going to be honest with you. After the first round, I gave Goods the first round, but I was thinking maybe Cass could come back because Cass had some fire in the beginning of that first round. And when we get to the second round, man, it was literally like he reverted back to 2006. He reverted back to 2006 and had nothing but 2006 bars. He had that for the second round. He had that for the third round. And to me, Goods 30 Cassidy. Goods 30 them. In my prediction, I picked Cassidy to win a round, but I still had Goods winning 2-1. Goods 30 Cassidy. And I'm going to be honest, it's nothing that Cassidy can say that's going to clean that up. Because, bro, you literally sounded like 2006. And everybody had been saying for the longest, bro, are you thinking you're able to translate? Are you able to, do you know that you have to do updated shit? Your whole plan was that you was the science, you was the knowledge, you was the culture, you are the battle rap, and you get all of this under control. But my dude, you came in that bitch with 2006 bars. We seen this happen with Jay Mills when Jay Mills first came back. We seen this happen with Enes when Enes first came back versus DNA. We seen it happen with I can't think of who else that came back. Reed Dollars. We all seen this, that these guys were legends or are legends, but instead of not understanding, like, yo, even though this is what I do or did or am coming from, this is a new way of how they do things, and I got to make sure that I match it somehow. To me, King Los did well with matching it, but Cassidy really did not do that good. And I'm sorry to say, there's no way you can argue that Cassidy won this battle. There's no way you can argue that. Don't get me wrong. He was rapping his ass off. Some of the shit he was saying was hitting. He had a nice parallel universe bar. Shout out to Danny Myers. But it was like he had the vlogger scheme, and that didn't really hit well. Cassidy lost. He lost. So I mean, even though if he claiming still 5,002 or 5,001, my nigga, you lost one. Cause it ain't no O there now. You lost one. And that one you lost to was Goods the Animal. Goods got you. Half a gallon got you. He got you, man. It's nothing else that honestly I can say, but Goods got you. Overall, I give this event a 7.5 out of 10. I thought the event could have been a little bit better, but to me, I almost felt like that the guys really didn't show up. That's just like if you go back to Summer Madness 2, when Moog, Iron, and Loaded Lux was on the card, it was like every other battler that was on that card showed the fuck up because they were ready to war. They was ready to steal the crowd from all of the old battlers that was there. All of the forefathers, Sirius Joneses, everybody. Them young gunners came on the Summer Madness 2 stage and was like, y'all ain't about to get the shine. They go remember my battle. And that's how everybody was thinking. With this, nobody was thinking that. Nobody was thinking that. To me, a lot of them guys came lackluster, especially if you're judging their previous performance to their performance tonight. Again, big shout out to everybody, man. Tony Bro, man. Damn, I'm wild. Man, shout out to all of y'all, man, because I was sitting there, I was talking with y'all, I was talking with Rap Grid, I was talking with New Nails, I was talking with everybody. I was just tweeting and texting and tweeting, and taking notes, texting and tweeting. So it was a good event. I still enjoyed myself, man, and man, I'll see y'all again on the next event. I'm about to take my ass to bed. Comment, subscribe, like, holla at me, man. Peace.